Sorry. Notification. Okay. Lovely way to start a video. Hello. We're doing another part of this, me reacting to Christian YouTube series, but this is a special edition because I'm going to be using something that my dad recommended me. I'm just gonna show you the full list if you want to screenshot it. Ignore my messy handwriting, though. Okay. We're going to be looking at today, Father Mike Schmidt, I think, with Ascension Presents. We're going to be looking at that exclusively. Tasty! Dude, I'm going to turn this thing on Do Not Disturb. And of course, pause. Okay, so I don't know how to do that. Because I'm a grandma and I can't use technology. Whatever. We're not going to complain. So, this first video is when crude language becomes sinful. Again, all of these are by Ascension Presents. I don't have the rights to these footages, but hopefully you can hear them. And of course an ad.
With built-in intelligence, your battery saves power and updates are automatic. So even if work interrupts you, your Dell Pro won't.
Interfere with that though. That's okay.
That kind of like exclamation of, why can you say crap, but not, I don't want to say anymore.
I get it,
Hi, my name is Father Mike Schmitz, and this is Ascension Presents.
I mean, it's literally in the Bible. God literally told us not to, so that's a reason in and of itself. But I want to hear what he has to say.
I've already done a video on the second commandment, which is, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord your God in vain. Just a little recap of that.
That's obvious, like, God is literally the creator of the universe. He is held to a higher esteem than any words can provide. And so using his name so casually like that, I mean, not casual in the way that I'm talking about it, but casual in the way, like, in a form of disgrace, sort of. In a form of complaining or disdain. Not disdain necessarily if you're praying and you're, praying about your situation, asking for help for it to get better or something. Words. Alright, let's...
All not to take the Lord's name in vain. That means what? That means taking the name of Jesus in vain. I believe it's saying things like, oh my God, also including the name of the saints, like that kind of that exclamation of Jesus marrying Joseph even, where it's just like meant kind of as a throwaway line. I know sometimes people, I mentioned this in the other video.
I've never heard anybody say that. I think in the right context, maybe, because, like, I could see somebody in, like, those shows, like Anne with an E, that sort of type of show, where she's like, Jesus married Joseph, and, like, that, sort of, as sort of a way, like, please help me not say anything that I will regret, pretty much. But I do agree with him in the fact that, like, if it's used in the same context as, like, not with respect. And also in a way that other people don't see it with respect, because we are... Love my little hand interpretations. We spread the good news, and through our actions and words. So if our actions don't reflect our words, people aren't going to take us seriously. And also, your actions should reflect your words anyway. And that's why we have good friends. So when we mess up, inevitably, because we will, because we're people, they'll be like, yo, man, something's not adding up here. And I'm like, oh, shoot, man, you're right. Thank you. I approve. And you do the same for them. It's a two-way street, man. Back to this.
I think sometimes people say, well, I didn't take God's name in vain. I said it, but I didn't mean it. Like, that's what in vain means. Also, a person could use God's name as a curse. Right?
You said it, but you didn't mean it? What? What even is that? I can't... My brain cannot comprehend it. You said it, but you didn't mean it. Like, what does that even mean? It's a throwaway phrase. You're using it as a throwaway... It's not a throwaway phrase, obviously. It's something so much more than that. Not even a phrase. It's the name of our Lord and Creator. If I'm very discombobulated today, that's okay. I'll be okay, I promise. But, like, using it as a throwaway phrase like that, it's like, no! How can you say it but not mean it when you're using it as a throwaway phrase in the first place, which means you're not using it with any meaning? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, back to this.
I'll give an example, but I will not. That's always going to be a violation of the second commandment. Well, what about, like, swear words, cuss words that have nothing to do with the Lord's name, but are, what our culture considers swear words. Again, I have a video on this. Trent Horn has a great video on this. The words that are cuss words are kind of arbitrary.
Actually, I kind of already explained this. Because we want to be, examples of what you should do. Which sounds really preschool terms, but I don't know. Back to the video. Goodness.
Those are more like social mores rather than this always and everywhere, never ever say X, whatever X is. In fact, I remember I was watching the kids from Harry Potter at one point, when they were little. They talked about, I think it was Daniel Radcliffe who plays Harry Potter. He was going on some kind of press junket, and he was laughing at the fact that when he's in America, he can say a word here among kids that in England would be considered like, oh, no, you don't say that word among kids. And he just thought it was interesting and kind of laughed at it because he could essentially British swear in front of American kids and then didn't even know it. Again, all I'm saying is sometimes those cuss words, those swear words are just arbitrary. Can we just say them then? There's still some rules. For example, if the word, like the swear word, cuss word, has something to do with, like, sacred things. Say the sexual act. That a swear word or a cuss word about that, you're talking about something that actually is sacred. Talking about something that actually is meant to be holy. It's good.
Yeah, exactly. Here's somebody talking about this. Oh my gosh. And, like, okay. Especially in Ohio, because Ohio. And I'm not just saying Ohio, I'm saying, like, everywhere. It's a whole mess with abortion, pro-life, pro-choice, and it's like, I understand both sides here. My opinion is obviously aligned with the Catholic Church because I am Catholic. I mean, the Catholic Church states all life is sacred from conception until natural death. There we go. I mean, okay. I like being a pro-life society. But, however, we are not prepared for it. Just simple as that. If we are going to be pro-life, which we should, we need to be pro-mothers as well. You cannot have one without the other. You can't. You can't have one without the other. Otherwise, it's just going to be the way that things are right now. Torn. And it's like, I understand some people are not ready for it. Some people never wanted it in the first place. But it's like, guys. And I'll talk about that in a second. I'll talk about that part in a second. And it's like, okay. Understandable. And like sometimes, what's her name? Saint, Giovanna, the lady that had, like, cancer or something while she was pregnant with one of her children, and even though they told her to terminate the pregnancy for, like, her own safety or whatever, she still carried it out because it was part of her belief. We'll probably know her entire story, but not her name. I'm sorry. For her, yeah. And it's like, okay, I understand. That doesn't make it right, but I understand. And of course, you know, people being, people do dumb stuff sometimes. Doesn't mean they're bad people, they just did bad things. And, you know, that includes, you know, sexual assault, rape, whatever, nonsense. Oh my gosh. And literally, exactly. My opinion on that, sexual activity in a holy sense is, it's like a button. You know the big red button on the console panel? Yeah. It's a button. Basically, married couple in communion with God, pressing that button to, you know, basically it's a request button. Like, we request a child to raise up for God, probably, essentially, and to, you know, raise up to be a good example of Catholic faith. I mean, that's how I think about it, but, you know. And, you know, condoms and such are basically people trying to push the button without the consequences. And, of course, we know that doesn't always work. Because you still press the request button. That's how I think about it. I want to hear the rest of what he has to say.
And beautiful, and there's something about this that gets stripped down.
I know, right?
When saying that particular swear word. We don't want to strip things down, especially things that are good, beautiful, potentially holy.
Exactly. My teacher always said, don't make the extraordinary ordinary. And that includes simple things, like what he just said. Mass, prayer, like things that can seem ordinary because we do them all the time, or it doesn't seem like a big deal in that case, at least.
How many times I've been out in public and I hear people, whether they're young or old, doesn't matter, right? Young or old people with that crass language. I just think, okay, that's just not kind. That's not an act of love for the people around you, especially if there's kids present or there's families present. There's some things you don't have to say. I get it. Like, you're tough. I get it. You're, like, you know, really gritty and whatnot. But there's something about just sound pollution. And again, once again, when it comes down to it, if there's some crass language that isn't a violation of anything that's sacred or holy or good in itself, but you just say that in private conversation, maybe, I guess that could be the thing. But it also reveals our own heart. But when there's a shared space, I think it's worth considering in love the fact that there are other people around. Some things are not arbitrary, like the Lord's name and whatnot. Some things are relatively arbitrary, like what words are swears in your language or your culture. And there's some things that are just like, yeah, but as an act of charity, act of kindness, it would make sense to kind of avoid that. But the big question is, what?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
What about what you call minced oaths? So a minced oath, if I get that phrase right, is what about when you take like the name of God and don't say the name of God anymore, but you say something else? I'm guilty.